Today's lesson that we're going to be talking about is number 5, subtracting integers. Remember, we're still in the Unit 711, adding and subtracting rational numbers, and don't forget to add your name and today's date to your notes. To start today, you guys have some review questions on adding integers. So I want you to pause the video, do the problems, and then come back to check your answers. Now that you have these first 3 problems done, let's review. The first one is -4 plus -12. They're both negative numbers, so I know I add the numbers. 4 and 12 is 16, keep my sign. The second problem is -5 plus 8. They are one negative and one positive, so I'm going to technically subtract. 8 and 5 has a difference of 3. And then I look at the one further from 0. 8 is further from 0 or has a greater absolute value. It is a positive number, so my answer will be positive. And then the third one, +3 plus -15. They're different signs, so I'm going to technically subtract. 3 and 15 have a difference of 12. And then I look at the number with the greater absolute value. In this case, it's -15. It's a negative number, so I have a negative answer. So my final answer should be -12. Then, to recall from last time, if we are thinking about a number line, so in our number line, 0 is in the middle, positive numbers, they are going to the right. And if I have negative numbers, my negative numbers go to the left. So when I think about my positives go to the right and negatives go to the left, I can use that to visually solve subtraction problems. The first problem we're going to look at is 8 minus 4. I am starting at 8, so I'm going to put a mark at 8. And then it says I want to minus 4. We can think of that as a -4. And a negative, I'm going to go to the left. So I need to go left 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm taking away 4 units. And then my answer is just regular 4, which we knew. But I can apply that thinking to more complicated problems. If we look at this next one, it has -3 minus 7. So I'm going to start at -3, and then it says I need to minus 7 or take away 7. We can think of this as a -7, so I have to go down my number line, and I need to go down 7 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I end up at -10. So -3 and a -7 equaled -10. And then lastly, this one's probably the most complicated. We have 2, so start at 2. And then it says I'm going to minus a -5. So when I think about minus, I know minusing is going to make me go to the left. But then when I add in this -5, I have to reverse directions again. So I'm actually going to be going to the right. And I'm going to go to the right 5 spaces. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I end up at 7. So 2 minus -5 really was simply 7. So thinking about these 3 questions, look at the next page of your notes. It's asking you right up here, what observations can you make based on the 2 previous problems? So thinking about our 2 previous problems, we had negative 3 minus 7, which equaled negative 10, and 2 minus negative 5 equaled 7. So I want you to think about some observations that you can make, and go ahead and pause the video and make your observations that you have. There is nothing that's right or wrong, it's just what you notice about these two problems. So here's what I would like you to notice, is that when we are going to subtract two integers, we can really think of it as adding the opposite. So if we look back up at this first problem, negative 3 minus 7, we could have thought of it as negative 3 plus a negative 7. Now we changed it into an adding with the same sign. Easily know that's going to be negative 10. So if we are subtracting a positive, which was right up here, it is the same as adding a negative. So subtracting a positive is the same as adding a negative. And if we know that subtracting a positive is the same as adding a negative, we can apply that to our examples. So 8 minus 3, I can rethink that as 8 plus negative 3. And I can go ahead and apply my adding rules. I'm adding with different signs, so I'm subtracting the numbers. Well, 8 minus 3 is 5. And then I think about which one's further from 0. 8 has the greater absolute value. It's a positive number, so my answer is positive 5. I can do the same with the other problem. Negative 12 minus 5. I can think of it as negative 12 plus negative 5. Adding that negative or adding the opposite. Now, I made it into an addition problem, which is easier to think about. I'm adding two numbers with both the same sign, so we add the numbers. 12 and 5 make 17. They're both negative, so my answer is negative. We also have another type of subtracting problem where we're subtracting a negative. That was like that second example of 2 minus negative 5. It ended up equaling 7. Subtracting a negative, remember, we're adding the opposite. So we're going to be adding the opposite of a negative is a positive. It's really 2 plus a positive 5, adding the positive. So looking at that first example, 7 minus negative 6, it's really 7 plus a positive 6. Well, 7 plus 6 makes 13. Negative 8 minus negative 5 is the same as negative 8 plus positive 5. This is a little crowded, so we can think of it as negative 8 plus 5. We don't need to write the plus sign twice. They have different signs, so we're going to take the difference of them. 8 and 5 have a difference of 3, but then the negative 8 is further from 0. Because it's negative, my answer will be negative.